Hey everybody, welcome to Boss Run, a video game podcast starring me, Billy Housh. Let's get into it. So last week, there was a big update for Battlefield 6. It was like the Wake Island update or the Top Gun update. And honestly, don't sleep on it. If you have Battlefield 6 and you haven't played it in a while, update your game. It's going to be big. The file is just as big as the whole game. You're re-downloading the entire game again. But it is fantastic. They knocked it out of the park. I don't know if it's all this new Saudi money that's coming in or not. But it's genuinely the Wake Island update and I forget what the mode is. It's like a Top Gun mode where there's different ship carriers that like fly in infantry, and then you have to like take over, almost like escalation kind of match. They're great. The graphics, I don't know if it's just like I guess the color palette and the lighting and stuff, because it's now on this like beautiful island. It just looks really good. It's unbelievable. So really don't sleep on it. It also feels like a lot of the performance has been completely, like, already the performance was great on Battlefield 6 for the scale of the maps, but like the update just runs like butter now. So everyone, if you have bought Battlefield 6, boot it up. If it's been a while, like there's an enjoyable game there that's like fresh now. Definitely check it out. Yeah, even the Top Gun stuff, even though it's goofy, it's kind of nice having new menu music, right? Rockin' menu music. So it's been quite an eventful weekend for beta testing out there. If you're a beta tester or like to play demos, glorified marketing material. I think all these betas are like 80% marketing material, and then like whatever, like 20% of that is actually testing the servers. So yeah, we had two tests. The first was, which I'm still currently playing through, is the Duskbloods Closed Network Test. So for people uninitiated in what Duskbloods is, it's the latest game by FromSoftware, the folks that created the Souls genre with their Demon Souls, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Elden Ring, blockbuster games that came out of nowhere but have overtaken the gaming industry. Games that don't often associate or appear on the Nintendo platforms. So that's the unique thing about Duskbloods. It is in an exclusive title to the Nintendo Switch 2 entertainment system. And it's also kind of a departure from, I don't know, well, you know what? I don't think I can say that clearly, because the last FromSoftware game that came out was that Night Rain, that like full disclosure here, I'm not like a huge follower of FromSoftware games, that I haven't really gotten into the Souls games. I've gotten into the Souls adjacent games, but I didn't even know until recently that Night Rain Elden Ring thing wasn't a DLC, wasn't an expansion to Elden Ring. It was a standalone game itself. I didn't even know that. I thought it was like a DLC. But Night Rain apparently was like a prototype to what Duskbloods is, as in it's like an online multiplayer kind of deal. So Duskbloods is one of those. It's for Nintendo, and it's got that unique style from FromSoftware hack and slash games. This like dark Victorian kind of Lovecraftian medieval weird looking steampunkish everything, like gothic type of world with rich lore, and everything is more of it's more show than tell. That's always been the From Software way of storytelling, or the way that their narrative is unveiled. It's from environmental clues, or these out of the way kind of bits and pieces of like object descriptions and stuff that you would read later in the menu system and stuff like that. That's how it's dispersed, and it works really well. It's very mysterious and like otherworldly and like, but bit familiar. It's really like their worlds are truly like a rich text that I understand that appeal of it. And that's the kind of From Software fan I am. I'm not so interested or engaged in the type of gameplay that they offer, but I do love playing honestly, I just love watching a YouTube retrospective or YouTube summary video on the lore of From Software games. I probably spent more time watching YouTube videos that explain the story and lore behind different From Software games more than even playing the games themselves. So if that says something for you. But the gameplay for these games are quite revered. The way that you have to like parry and dodge and time hits and understand the attack patterns of the different enemies, that is very much something beloved by fans. It's very like, usually they have like a very like the skill cap, like it's hard to play these games and understand them and like master them. And that's part of the allure of them. But like also like, once again, for people like the enemy design and stuff are just really cool. So like often I'll come across like a new enemy. I'll start reading this long and elaborate, interesting name, and then see this big design. And by the time I take everything in, I've been murdered, one shot killed in the game. So anyways, they have this network test, and the first one started at like 6 a.m. my time on Friday. And I woke up at 6 a.m. I was like dog sitting, and the pup always wants food around that time. So I like to wake up and give her some food and let her out to do her business. So I was awake for that, and then it just wasn't working. And then an hour went by, an hour and a half went by, and then checked on X, the Duskbloods X page and the From Software page. First, the From Software support on X posted something that was like basically gaslighting people and saying, no, you're playing on Wi-Fi. You need to play plugged into your router if you have any problems or what have you, which was not the case. No one around the world were able to log in to the Duskbloods servers on the very first test. And then they just ended up like apologizing and canceling it. So that wasn't a good start. That wasn't a good first impression of it. And then I believe it was later on the night of, then I was able to log into their second test, which I forget. It was in the evening, I believe. Maybe it was like 10 p.m. That's when the final one is, to this day of this recording. On Sunday at 10 p.m. Eastern time will be the next one. 10 p.m. Eastern until 2 a.m. in the morning. So the second time I got to log in, I got to play, I guess, like the beginning has like it's almost like a tutorial, but not really, just teaches you basic movement as you walk through the map, and you encounter these different cool story videos. Like, I don't know, I couldn't tell when they were playing those videos. I'm like, is this like rendered video, like regular like video, or is this like real time in the game engine? I couldn't tell, but I'm guessing it was rendered, because I was like, whoa, this game looks really good for a Switch 2 game. And then when the game loads itself, it looks really good because of the art design. And it performs very well. Like, it feels like it's running at a solid 60 frames per second. but you can also kind of see like some of the pop in or where things would start dithering and stuff on how to so that they can maintain that 60 on the Switch too. So like that's some nerdy stuff that I can kind of tell, but who cares? Like it was, I think the whole Nintendo thing is that your art design should be able to make a game look beautiful or make the presentation amazing based off of the actual like artistry of it and what you do with what you have than the like brute force power, like high resolution graphics and all this kind of stuff like that you get with the alternative. So like it was fine. Like I'm happy with the performance and all that stuff, but no, it doesn't look as good as like a PlayStation 5 game. Clearly it looks in between of a PS3 and PS4 title. I'd say, yeah, maybe kind of almost a PS4 title kind of, complexity to the geometry, I guess, like the polygon count. Anyway, something that not a lot of people will care. It just looks really good, and the world is amazing. The art design, I haven't played too many of the Dark Souls games. Those are like much more medieval. I think this is closer to Bloodborne. It seems closer to Bloodborne, of like that Victorian area, steampunkish kind of world. So anyways, like you start up the game, there's some like basic tutorial stuff, but then it opens up in this like world. You're inside this like old mansion. And then in the mansion, there's like a table, I think, and that's where you can access the menu system that gave you just like you can, and that one that you can change up like the loadout or something with your characters, pick your character, and also obviously start your online matches. But it also had tutorials in it, like it had like a series of gameplay style tutorials that I've been reading articles about. That was something that Nintendo kind of like pushed FromSoftware's hand to include in this. Because originally FromSoftware, like I said, their games are much like show and tell. They're more show than tell. Same as like their gameplay. There's no tutorials really to their games. You just like, you start the game and it's really hard because you have to learn everything slowly from dying over and over again, from trial and error. But no, Nintendo put in these tutorials, which I understand their rationale, because they're thinking about a Nintendo only audience. So think about, there's lots of people who they don't play like PlayStation or Xbox games. They don't play PC games. When video games they play are just Nintendo games, right? And the FromSoftware games, I can't think of any of them. Not many of them showed up on Nintendo systems throughout time. Like mostly FromSoftware games were mainly PlayStation games. Like PlayStation 1 were some of the old ones, but like from the Soulsborne series that started with like Demon Souls on PlayStation 3, then like the main like heyday and like uprising of FromSoftware would be like PS4, the PS4 era, with stuff like all the Dark Souls games and Bloodborne being that big exclusive title for Sony PlayStation 4. And it still is. It's still locked to that system. That's where all that came from. So like this was, Nintendo got their own Bloodborne, but it's also like an online game, which is crazy. Anyways, that I would say the tutorial, I think I would have went with FromSoftware, even though I appreciate the hand holding for FromSoftware games, if that's ever there, because those games are too hard for me to play. I think FromSoftware was correct, because I went through the tutorial and I didn't retain or learn anything from it. And I think it was just like a big waste of time for a play test. I think I would have enjoyed and learned more by just playing the matches, just being thrown in and playing the matches. And then afterwards in the menu, reading the lore you unlock. In the game, as you encounter different elements or mechanics or like when you pick up stuff, it's almost like, and I think this is the creator said, he took inspiration from board games. Every time you pick up something, it's like rolling a certain perk or something that you get for your character. So it's always random each time you play. Once you die and you're booted back to the main menu, there is an archive, and everything that you find during your playthrough online, it unlocks like a description, a little entry, a little thing in your archive. And I thought that was cool, and that was a cool system to encourage you to play more and experience more. And then afterwards you can check out what was this that I found in the world. That was very clever. And I think that would have been better than having this tutorial in it. Cause it was a waste of time I wasted half the time playing through that. And then by the time I got to play matches, I played maybe like 2 matches and then the time was up. The playtest was over. I think another thing, I would have had the tutorial and the menu system and just that big house area that is not connected to an online server, like the pre-matchmaking menu system. I would have had that available for people in between the playtest times, so they can play the tutorial that is offline and read all the stuff and just like jump around and move around in that small area, so that once the playtest opens to test out the servers, more of that time is being focused on that. So that would have been a win-win for the players as well as the developers that are just looking at it at the technical scalability of their server or what have you. But I don't know what they're thinking. So then today was the third chance to play, and that was between 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., and that's on a Sunday. I wasn't able to wake up until 9:30, so I got 30 minutes, about like a match and a half worth of playing Duskbloods, and it was unfortunate, but I wanted to sleep. I was like kind of waking up and I'm like, man, I'd rather just sleep in on a Sunday morning than like wake up and force myself to play this video game. But yeah, I got a match and a half in it in the morning. I would say going into this game, I was trying to have an open mind, and I was like, I'm sure this would be cool. I'm not into FromSoftware games. Even the ones I bought, I did not like play them all the way through. I probably won't be enjoying this game, but I like to try it with an open mind and see what happens. That first impression with the server not working, and then like going through this like really weird, like confusing tutorial, and then like confusing first couple of times of playing it, I was like, I don't know about this game. But then it intrigued me. Like I kept thinking about it. And then the more I played the actual matches in the world, the more I wanted to try and explore the game again. Once again, like I didn't even explain the game. The game's split up into different phases. And initially, so when you load into this map that has it's like castles and like this Victorian city, similar to Bloodborne type of map with different areas to it. You choose which areas you want to drop in, and then you spawn, and then the first phase is like playing a mini level of Dark Souls types of game, but there is like other players moving around there. And they're doing the same thing in the same map. So the first phase, you're basically just killing small enemies to gain more like experience points and abilities, and basically like killing little enemies like loot boxes essentially to build up your character. my favorite part of the game was that there's something where you can summon these kins, which are like AI controlled like little helper, little buddies that fight beside you, and their design is just like wild and wacky. Like the first one I got was this like big, like obese dude, kind of reminded me of the merchant guy in Resident Evil 7. And he's this big, gluttonous, beefy guy on a chariot because he can't move. So kind of like on a mobility scooter, but on this like old chariot. His ass is in a chariot wheeled. So he just like comes around with you, like runs and smacks guys and then like pukes on them and shit. It's pretty awesome. And they all have lots of like good like dialogue, voiceover sounds and stuff like that. There's a lot of them, and I wanted to find more of them. And I guess I just at random, when you come to these different areas where you can summon a kin, it's random. And I think you can go and find more to like roll them again and get like another one. But also when you have them fighting next to you, they're also building XP as well and leveling up. So you want to get as much as you can out of the first phase, just fighting small enemies until you're building yourself up until like the next round. So like almost like think about like it's almost like any of these online games like PUBG. You pick where you want to drop, right? Same as this game. You drop in to the map, and then at the beginning you're just trying to scavenge as much like weapons and armor to build up your loadout until you get to like the encounter as like the circle closes in. It's like similar kind of mechanics I can see in this game. So phase one, it would be stupid to engage in the other players. You just want to focus on gaining. There's also something called virtue. That's the most important currency because like as you find virtue, or I think maybe gain it from killing enough enemies or doing some crazy stuff. Like there's these like sub boss kind of enemies. I think they're called trespassers, and killing them gets you virtue. So once the timer is done and that round, that phase is over, basically I think like the two people who have the least amount of virtue get eliminated. They get culled. So they're not going to progress to the next round. The next round, I believe in the next round, then you're most likely then engaging in those trespassers, like those sub bosses, and then there's even bigger bosses. And in those situations, you can form alliances with the other real player characters, like the online people. And as a group together, you can fight these big enemies to gain more XP and virtue and all that kind of stuff. So it would be to your advantage to make alliances to fight bigger enemies to build up your character. Or yeah, some people can also engage in the other players and try to murder them to gain XP, or even like team up with another person to murder another real player to gain more XP. Stuff like that would be done in that phase. But yeah, don't quote me. I'm like, once again, I've only played like 3 or 4 games to actually know if this is all correct. So it might be like incorrect. And I think there might be 4 phases or 3, but ultimately the final phase. So if you weren't eliminated and you got to the final phase of Duskbloods, that's when you're just in a arena and everyone is just fighting against each other. So all the real players are now just trying to like murder each other, and the last person standing wins. So that's pretty much the game. It's like taking the Dark Souls games and making one of those live service games with it, right? That's all it is. What is that formula that made PUBG and Battle Royale and extraction shooters and all that crap, just making FromSoftware's own Dark Souls version of it. Like I said, it's intriguing enough that I'm interested in playing it. I'm definitely going to play more at 10 p.m. tonight to see if I actually want to purchase this game. I wonder how much it's going to cost, like how much content, because if it's an online only game, like how much are they going to charge for? Is it a full price game? And when is it going to come out? This would be a game that I'm thinking, like, even if there is a physical copy of it, it would just make more sense to buy it digitally. I think, like, if you're online only games that you're playing throughout the year, it's not like a single player game that you just like play it until completion, and then when you're done, you take it out and put it on your shelf. This game, if I end up buying it, I will probably buy the digital copy of this, and this will be my first digital Switch 2 game purchase, possibly. But yeah, that's Duskbloods. Each time I play it, I think about it more, and I don't know. What I want to learn after this playtest is, what is the progression system, and like what is the incentive to keep playing the game? Is it? I'm assuming it's probably just cosmetics, or is there some other progression? Maybe it's just the lore unlocking. Like that's enough progression for me. Even if I don't get to the final round or win the final round, just exploring the world and opening up more lore to look at in the archive, which they have pictures of and all that stuff. That's cool enough for me. That could be it for me. So I'm interested to once again play some more tonight, and then see what, after the playtest is done, what are they going to announce? They got to announce the price and the when it's coming out, because it's slated to come out by the end of this year. And boy, is it crowded. The next beta, and the other beta that I've been playing quite a bit of during this weekend, is the Modern Warfare 4 beta, called the new Call of Duty. That also came out on Friday. It was around Friday, 2:00 my time. So after the first playtest of Duskbloods failed, I got Modern Warfare 4. Playing it on, I played it on both my PC through Steam, as well as I have a beta code, and I have been playing it on my PlayStation 5 Pro. So I played on both of them. And then next weekend, it's the open beta. So this beta is just for people who have early access because they pre-ordered the game, or if you just found one of the millions of beta codes that are floating on the internet, that as well. Next week is the open beta. So that's for everyone to play. Anyone who has any of these platforms, they can just download the game and play it for next weekend. And also next weekend, you'll be able to play it on the Switch too, which I showed my excitement that I really want to try this Call of Duty. It's been a long time since a Call of Duty game has been on, especially an online one, on a Switch, on a Nintendo system. So I'm curious to play it on the Switch too. But I'm all in on the Steam copy of it on my PC. I love it. I love the game. It seems like as of today, the discourse on the internet has been like switching from love to hate, but I think it's excellent. First thing when I loaded up the game, I'm like, wow, the whole menu system reminds me of the Xbox 360 Modern Warfare 2, which was my first experience, my entry point to Call of Duty online games, where I fell in love with it. And I'm like, that's cool. That's really cool. Also, like, the menu system had like blades. So it was also very much similar style to navigating through like the original Xbox 360 operating system. So it's like, okay, they are really now kind of like leaning into the identity and nostalgia behind the heyday of Call of Duty. So yeah, all the UI and stuff reminds you of like Modern Warfare games from the 360 era. The game itself, like the gameplay, it's a total overhaul of like the last 4 years of Call of Duty. I really want to know what, like, is this the same engine? Is this like a massive fork? Because the engine is just, everything feels different about it. And like the tech and everything, and like the graphics, everything It's just very much different, and I would say quite refreshing. I think it's very similar to Modern Warfare 2019. Okay, the original reboot of it. Infinity Ward has definitely gone back to that style. It's very much like it's all set in realism. The character models and the performance capture and everything is really good. It's really, really high quality. One thing I would say is the clarity of everything is really good. Like the way the color palette is and how everything is designed, it's very, very clear. Nothing is muddy, nothing is blurry, which I had like some of the other Call of Duties of recent years. I just felt like visibility was an issue. Everything looks very clear and clean, which is great. Like it seems like this one is more focused towards like that esports style. What else with it? This also, it came included with a mission from the campaign, which was pretty cool. It definitely looked amazing, especially on my computer. And it gave me a lot of vibes from the World War II Call of Duties. Like I'm talking like the OG Call of Duty and Call of Duty 2, like with like segments of like trench warfare and stuff like that. The story seems to be about like North Korea invading and attacking South Korea, at least from the snippet I got, and also from like the operators that you have access to. A lot of like really good South Korean voice acting. Like it's kind of refreshing. It's playing the game is kind of cool. Kind of cool having those different like experiences instead of having like some cornball kind of voice acting. That's what I like. Modern Warfare 2019 also had really cool operators with cool like good acting and stuff. Like it wasn't cartoonish and stuff, which I get. Like the Black Ops games are supposed to be like kind of goofy, but also like fast arcadey speed. And that was the one thing I noticed from like the actual movement in the game. From turning was the most like with the Black Ops games, you just like spin 360 no scope. You can turn on a dial like easy. Whereas this like movement is a little bit more deliberate and more heavy and weighted and more human, I would say. Like there's more like locomotive physics of a human being going into this to give it, I guess, that Modern Warfare kind of realism style. But you quickly are able to adapt to that. You change, and like also once you like kind of change your gun loadout attachments and stuff like that, you can adapt for these different things and stuff like that. So it's, I don't know. I quickly started loving the game. I put like the first day, I think on Friday, I put like a good 4 hours into the game and I hit the level 20 cap, no problem. The maps they give you are hyper detailed, like maps that are like in like downtown areas in Korea, I guess. And there's like net cafes that have StarCraft posters on them and stuff like that, which is cool way of just using like Blizzard and stuff. Like it's in Korea, right? So why not have like StarCraft and Dota and all this kind of like posters in their net cafes? Going in areas like there's so much detail, like there's these cool new particle effects they do. So like if you shoot like a fire extinguisher or like something like that, it'll start like spraying. If a bullet hits a ATM machine, money starts like flying out of it, and all these like little extra touches to the environmental part of it. It's really top notch, and it just goes to show you like there's a big difference between a Call of Duty game that they spend 3.5 years developing compared to a Call of Duty game that they spend 8 months developing. So it shows. If you have been a Call of Duty hater or skeptic for a while, I suggest just try the open beta next weekend. Just give it a shot. Open-minded shot. See if you like it. I mean, it's free to try the beta. And Next weekend, they raise the player cap to 30. So I'll have like 10 more levels to play to move my person or whatever, my player character up. And it's been a blast. I like playing Call of Duties. Like I said before, it's like my fidget spinner game. It's like how some people will throw Friends on Netflix on their TV in the background while they do something else. That's kind of like my Call of Duties each year. And I like how they freshen it up enough that like doesn't get completely monotonous and boring. But it's still familiar enough that it's kind of like comfort food playing those games. And I understand some people are like, it makes so much money every year. There's a reason to it. There's a reason why it has that appeal. So yeah, I've been loving Modern Warfare 4 beta. It's been great. Definitely looking forward to that game once it comes out. Trying to think of anything else I have to say about the beta. Not really. It's good stuff. But once again, I'll have my impressions of what it's like playing it on the Switch too. I can compare playing it on my PlayStation 5 Pro with my PC. It still looks really good on the PS5 Pro, even at 120 hertz. The 120 hertz mode on the PS5 Pro, it looks like it is in 1080p. Whereas when I play it on my computer, it's closer to the perception of a 4K game. So it looks awesome on my PC, and that's where I bought it, and that's where I'll play it. But it was interesting playing on the PS5 Pro. My friend Evan told me to try switching off the 120 20 hertz mode to just play it on the quality PS5 Pro mode, because apparently the 120 hertz mode is just really hitting around 110, and playing it on the quality mode on the PlayStation 5 Pro, it's hitting around like just above 90 hertz, but it's supposed to be a higher resolution. So maybe that'll be closer to 4K, or maybe that plays it at 1440p upscale to 4K. Maybe that looks kind of better. So I'm going to try that. I'll probably try that tonight while waiting for the Duskbloods to start. But it's worth messing around with that. Also, a lot of people realize that the Modern Warfare 4 on the PC, it has a DLSS 4.5 file. It has a newer version of DLSS that's not even included in the current NVIDIA drivers. So a lot of people were like, wow, this actually like upscales the game way better. And people have taken out that DLSS file copied it from the Call of Duty's file folders and pasted it into other games like Pragmata, and saw like an increase in image quality using it. So that's kind of cool. It's almost a preview of what the next NVIDIA drivers are going to have. So that's kind of interesting kind of PC thing with that. So yeah, my impressions of like both like Modern Warfare 4 and Duskbloods is overall positive impressions. Modern Warfare 4, 100%. I've already bought it. Just like that also, full disclosure, I'm pretty much happy with most of the Call of Duty that have come out, and I've explained my purpose for it. Duskbloods, it's getting closer to I might actually purchase the game more than I thought I would be, but I'll definitely be playing a lot more of it tonight and see what marketing material Nintendo unveils for it moving on. But yeah, that's the exciting stuff about the first big beta weekend. Next week, I'll be playing more of next weekend, more Modern Warfare 4, because there's going to be more maps and stuff that they also add as they expand it. Other stuff that are you can look forward to next week. It feels like this is like still kind of like E3 season, right? The summer is still E3 season. So this upcoming Tuesday, August to the 25th, is the opening night live for Gamescom. So Gamescom is the German European video game convention that they got going on there. So they're going to have a live event there's going to be a main show hosted by your man, the Canadian bro, Jeff Keighley. And yeah, they're going to stream that. That's going to be the main events at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be streaming on whatever, YouTube, Twitch, everything. And the main stuff that they said that they're going to be highlighting, there's going to be an Xbox presence of it, and they're going to just show more of Gears of War E-Day. They said that they're going to talk about Final Fantasy VII Revelation. So that's like the third game in the Final Fantasy VII trilogy, which I'm looking like I'll play it 100%. I'm already deep into it, play the first two. So they're going to be talking about a lot about that. And that's probably the biggest, most interesting thing because there hasn't been a lot of news about that game. And they're also going to talk about the new Witcher 3 DLC. So Witcher 3 is an old game now. I forget when I think it came out in 2015 or 2016. They're releasing new DLC for the game. And I believe this DLC is kind of like a story bridge to the next game, Witcher 4, which I don't know when that's coming out. And that's like a in the future type of game. So yeah, going to have a live show, some new news coming out on Tuesday. And the other big event that happens during the week is on Thursday, August 27th, is the Grand Theft Auto 6 extended look. That's first going to premiere on Netflix. So that's kind of like the early access is if you have Netflix, you're gonna be able to watch that at 3 p.m. Eastern time. Otherwise, later on YouTube, it's going to be free, posted on Rockstar's YouTube channel at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So we're going to see. And if you've been keeping up on this, there's been so many like leaks coming out and all this kind of stuff about Grand Theft Auto, which I don't know. Like sometimes I saw the leaks. Sometimes I've just been avoiding them. I don't know, whatever. I can just wait until the extended look on Thursday. The game's going to be out soon enough that like, I don't understand. If anything, it's like creating more hype for Grand Theft Auto 6. So we're going to have a lot to talk about next week on the podcast. So make sure you are subscribed to the YouTube channel or following us or subscribe to the podcast on Spotify or Apple Music. If you're on Apple Music and you want to see my face, the video version of it is on Spotify, and as always, we're on YouTube for you. So I hope you all have a wonderful week. Let me know if you're playing Duskbloods, if you're going to pick it up based off of the playtest, or what's your feeling on the Modern Warfare 4 beta? Do you hate it? Is the time to kill too slow? Is the time to kill too fast? What do you have to complain about it this year? Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, you all have a great week. I'll see you next Sunday. Peace.